Good morning. Okay, I think we're officially up and live. I'm gonna log in, give you guys a few minutes to have you join me. I know it's been a couple weeks since I did one of my Tuesday tutorials, but I'm back. I'm ready to share another fun little project for you guys. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, give me a second. I wanna make sure that I'm able to see any comments or anything you guys might have to add. So hopefully a few of you will join me because I love my little project, and I'm gonna need a little bit of input at some point, I think, because I want to do something different than the prototype that I created. Okay, I'm gonna grab a sip of water. You guys, if you hop in and you can hear the TV, let me know if it's too distracting. My Ellie's in the background watching TV. Ellie says, hi everyone, hope you heard her. Okay, so here we are. We are going to make a card today using 3 different stamp sets. I know usually I stick to one set, making one project, but we're gonna get fancy today. And we're gonna create a different, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna go back because I'm gonna do something kind of crazy. Okay. I don't know. Hold on. Try to do something. I'm gonna try to do a little watch party. See if I can make that work. I don't know how. I've never done that. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. You guys, I'm so like tech challenged. Tech challenge, that's what I am. Okay. All right, I guess this is gonna have to be how it is. Okay, so what I am, like I said, we're using 3 different stamp sets today, which is not something we usually do, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome. Let's jump right in. Okay, so we're doing, I'm using Butterfly Gala with the coordinating punch. We're gonna use Heartfelt. I guess I could tell you guys which ones we're using. So for the Butterfly Gala, we're gonna use this shading in, this small butterfly, this little butterfly body piece, and I think we're using this one here, this little butterfly detail design, okay? We're using that. We're using Heartfelt, and I'm just using this big arrow here and the Heartfelt. And then we're using the Forever Fern stamp set using the Hello sentiment. So that's what we're using today. I'm going to do this project a little differently than I usually do. I'm going to jump around a little bit. So hopefully you guys can keep up and that's not anything too super crazy. So we're going to jump right in. Okay, so what I have here is I just have some scrap Whisper White paper. I have a medium Whisper White envelope. I have Whisper White paper that's been cut at 5 1/4 by 4. This will be the inside of our card. I have some Bermuda Bay cardstock that will serve as our card base. This is, what color is this? This is Smoky Slate. Smoky Slate that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I have another Whisper White that's cut like 5, just like what is it, 1/8 of an inch above 5 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch above 4. So that'd be like what, 4 1/8, and so they're gonna layer like so. So that's the paper we're using. And let's get going. Okay, I'm going to set these aside and I'm gonna start working with the inside, the envelope, and this scrap piece here. And this, I also have another little piece that we'll use later. But okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, hold on. I'm going to take this butterfly outline here, and I'm going to stamp it in Bermuda Bay. I'm going to stamp it in a couple different places. So this, this stamp is attached, so it is two butterflies attached to each other, but I only want to use like a big one and a small one. So we're going to start by just inking up the small one. So I'm just going to use the corner of my pad, make sure that I'm only inking up this little part. Grabbing the inside, what will be the inside of my card, I'm going to stamp it there. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, just use the corner of my pad to make sure I'm only getting ink on that little baby butterfly. And like that. And then I'm going to clean off my stamp using my chamois. Okay. All right, I'm going to get this Bermuda ink again. I'm going to pull over my scrap paper. Ooh. Okay, this time I want to get the big butterfly, so I'm just going to use the corner and make sure I'm only inking up the big butterfly. And I'm just gonna want to make sure I have a good amount of ink on there. Okay, I'm just gonna stamp that guy right there. Got a little bit of that baby butterfly, but it's okay. I do want to bring my chamois over and clean that up though, because now I'm going to do the same thing and just ink up the big butterfly, except this time I'm going to use my envelope, get my envelope. Okay, and again, just using the kind of the edge of my ink pad, I want to make sure I'm only getting ink on that big butterfly. And I'm doing that because I'm going to stamp right here on the envelope, but I don't want that little butterfly guy. So I'm just going to stamp it like so. There we go. Oh, I got it a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. That's what makes it handmade, unique, one of a kind. Okay, I'm just cleaning that off and setting that stamp aside. Now I'm going to use this Coastal Cabana. And this time I'm going to bring all of these over. Get them all lined up here. Okay, I'm going to open this up. First, I'm going to get the inside like stamp shading piece for the top of the big butterfly's wings. And I'm just going to line it up as best I can. Stamp that up, give our butterfly some color. Just lining it up. There we go. That's those two. Clean off my stamp with my chamois. Okay, do the same thing with the bottom of that butterfly. So using that Coastal Cabana, lining it up so that I can get this butterfly all colored in. And do it on both. So, the nice thing about these photopolymer stamps is that you can see right through it. So lining it up is pretty easy. Oh wait, I still need this. I'm not putting this away yet. I got my finger in it. That's okay. So look, the chamois comes right out and you can just wipe off your hand. That way you don't transfer ink onto any other part of your project. Okay. And now I'm taking this little baby butterfly and I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to line up these baby butterflies here and color them in with my stamp. Oh, I think that was off a little bit. Nope, perfect. Okay. Perfect. I love it. I love it when it lines up beautifully and it's perfect. But if it's not lined up perfectly, that's okay. Because it makes it unique, beautiful, and one of a kind. Okay, so this is the envelope. We're going to set that aside. We're all done with that one for now. This is the inside of the card, so I'm going to put this up here. This scrap paper, I'm actually going to take my, hold on, I'm gonna rip these edges off here, throw this away. So I'm gonna take my Gala punch, my butterfly Gala punch. It coordinates with this stamp set, and I'm just gonna line up. Oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe not. Let me, hold on. I'm gonna rip it so that it fits into my punch nicely. All right, so then I'm going to put it in here and line it up. It's not going to be perfect because we are still missing a little piece of this butterfly, and we'll get to that in 2 seconds. So I'm just lining that up kind of centered. There's a little bit of white edge on this punch, so even when you line up your stamp, there's just a little bit of white trim on that. Okay, I might be getting a little too, oh my gosh, it keeps moving on me, but I'm also probably just getting a little bit too OCD. Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, can you guys see that? Well, okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay, perfect. So now we've got this butterfly guy. Okay, and then there's this little butterfly body, and I'm just gonna put it here. I'm gonna pull that Bermuda Bay back over. Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. Hold on, I've got it. I'm getting cluttery. I tend to do that sometimes. Okay, so on this body part, there is like a side that's just a tad bit wider and a little bit skinnier. I like to think that the wider part is like the top, like where the head of the butterfly would go. And again, it's nice about these photopolymers because you can see through. So I'm just lining it up to where the body was so that it goes like that. So the reason I did this part last is because it's really hard to kind of gauge where the body's supposed to go in that punch out. I was doing it earlier and I kept like slicing off a part, or the bottom would be too low, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I decided it works better to go back and add that in. And then one of the things that I also liked about doing it this way is that because of the buildup of the ink that we'd previously stamped, it gives the body like a nice little darker shade, so it pops out a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna set that aside. Okay, I'm gonna pull these layers back over, taking the Bermuda Bay. This is just 8.5 by 11 cardstock that I've cut in half, so it now measures 5.5 by 8.5. I'm gonna fold that in half, and this is a standard card size. Grabbing my bone folder, fold that over, give it a nice crisp fold. I'm gonna use some adhesive. I am still using snail adhesive. I know that we now have that, this, I think it's Stamp and Seal adhesive that released with our new catalog. This is retired. We can't purchase the snail anymore. And I did put in an order for that Stamp and Seal, but it hasn't got here. I hope it gets here later today. My shipment was delayed for a ridiculously long time. Okay. All right, so this is the inside of the card. I just love adding that little inner detail. I feel like it just makes it look super pretty. Okay, I'm gonna take this white, this Whisper White, and like I said earlier, this is cut just an 1/8 of an inch smaller than the 5. So this would be 4 1/4 by 5.5. So this is just an 1/8 smaller. That's just gonna give it a really nice, thin little border of that Bermuda Bay. So, okay. So I've done that. Now I'm going to take my, what am I gonna get? Oh, I'm gonna get my Big Shot because we're gonna do some die cutting. Okay, so I'm bringing the Big Shot over right here. Hi Tina, I see you. Okay, let me push this back without knocking everything off the table, I hope. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this triangle. It does have a little bit of that stitching and the beveled edge. This comes from the Stitch So Sweetly die set. And I'm using these, and I'm also getting that same scrap piece of Whisper White that we had earlier. So I'm just dropping that in there. All right. Just gonna roll it through the Big Shot. Get ourselves a nice little die cut here. Okay. Okay. And we're all done with this scrap paper, so I'm just gonna throw that out. Put this guy away. Okay, so here is our little die cut. You can see it just has that beautiful little stitching and the nice little edging, and I just think it's just gives it just cute little details. Okay, now we're gonna take this arrow that comes from the Heartfelt stamp set, and I've got the Smoky Slate, which matches our cardstock, and I've got Basic Gray, which is just a shade darker. So I'm gonna start with the Basic Gray, and I'm going to ink up this arrow. Okay, and then I'm going to center this just right across the middle of our die cut here. Just right back up. Whoa, whoa, that was shaky. Okay, cleaning this guy off. I'm going to go ahead and close this because we're all done with him. We're going to get the Smoky Slate. Open this guy up. I'm gonna do the same thing, but this time I'm gonna stamp with the arrow pointing in the opposite direction of that Basic Gray. So we're gonna stamp this guy on the bottom, kind of centered and lined up with that arrow, that initial Basic Gray arrow. And the same right on top. There we go, just like that. Okay, cleaning that guy, putting him away. Putting this guy away. Okay, and then I have this little piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is, I believe, 1/2 inch. My grid doesn't have measurements, but it looks like maybe a little over 1/2 inch. So we're gonna go ahead and use that. And I'm gonna stamp him in the Smoky Slate. I'm using the Hello sentiment from the Forever Fern stamp set. Just inking that guy up. And straight down and up, just like that. All right, okay, and then we're done with all of our stamping. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to dry emboss using the Big Shot on this Smoky Slate cardstock. Okay, so if you guys are watching, you can give me your opinion. So I have 2 dry embossing folders here. This one is kind of like a brick. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Maybe if I put like some color behind it. I don't know. But it's like a textured brick kind of. And then this one is called Tin Tile. Hopefully you guys can see these patterns. So there's the tin tile there. So I'll wait a minute. If you guys are watching, just give me your opinion on which one you think we should, that's Ellie saying hi. Which one you guys think we should use. So we've got the, I don't know, I think you guys can see it okay. I'm looking at the video playback and I think it comes up okay. So this is a tin tile, and this is like a textured kind of a brick. So just leave a comment, let me know which one you think would look best on the background.
I think I know that's going to be
You do?
beautiful.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick sip of water because
My brother toy, my other brother actually broke it.
Mm-hmm.
It was Anthony, and I got 2 brothers. One same and one Anthony.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Ellie, which one do you think would look better? The bricks or this tin tile here?
The bricks.
The bricks?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think we'll go with that.
I'm gonna be helping my mom and watch on YouTube on the TV.
Okay, so I'm just gonna line up my cardstock here. And I'm using this black line to kind of guide where I place my paper because I want it to be even. I want it to be straight. All right, I'm gonna bring the Big Shot back up.
Big Softy, Big Softy.
I'm gonna grab my base.
Mama,
So this is a 3D folder. And so I'm using a different colored shim to make sure that it fits through my Big Shot and that everything goes through okay. So I'm just gonna roll this through. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you roll the next time I do it, okay? Yeah, we will do it again. You know, I'm always making projects and doing this. So
yeah.
Okay.
I always do that pipe alone.
So this is that brick, that kind of like textured brick. You can see how some of those, yeah, you can see how some of them pop out a little more than the others. There's that little texture on some of them, and some of them are a little flatter.
Like, it looks like that one, and that one. Like, a lot of them is like apple, but some of them like not really apple.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got that all dry embossed, so I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna use my snail adhesive, and because this paper has a lot of texture to it, I'm gonna go ahead and use adhesive around the entire border and just a smidge in the center to keep it all lined up. No, baby, that one says hello. Oh, wait. I think it's crooked. Don't.
Okay,
hold on.
Before you should never take it off.
Okay.
You should never take
I don't know what's going on with this.
You always put it on where you want to put it, okay? You got wet and really you cry.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. We just kind of layered it up. It's a little bit crooked. I don't know if I didn't maybe cut it straight or something, but again, that's the magic of handmade. It's gonna be okay. All right, I'm taking this die cut that we stamped on, and I'm just gonna run some adhesive on the back of that guy. I'm gonna send him up right in the middle because I think that looks good. I just eyeball it. It's a little bit. Hold on, it's a little off. It just looks off, I think, because of the brick texture in the background. But, okay, so we got that guy there. I'm gonna take this hello. I'm gonna take my snips and I'm gonna trim off some of the excess edge because I want it to be
like super short.
Yeah, I want it to be really tiny, really snug fit. So just like that.
Mama, I know how you could do if you do that again. So you could set candy, like the line, and then cut that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be like, hello?
Hello. Okay, I'm gonna flip this over. Using some of my mini dimensionals, I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on this guy. And then we're going to take off the backs. We're gonna flip it over.
Guys,
okay.
I really do not know how to pull or read.
That's not true. You've been doing a good job reading. Okay, I'm just putting this hello right. I'm centering it up right here on the bottom of this arrow, just because I think that looks super pretty. Okay, almost done. So I'm taking this butterfly. I'm gonna flip this guy over, and I'm gonna use, I don't know, like 5 of these minis. Put one on each wing and one in the middle. Just want to make sure he doesn't squish up. I probably use an excessive amount of dimensionals, but a lot of my cards do go in the mail, and I don't like them to get too squished up, because I know that when they sort it, they run it through like this machine thing to make sure it's all even. Okay. And then I'm just going to line up this butterfly right here, just above the hello, between the 2 arrows, right there, just like that. Okay, last little part that we're going to do is I'm going to take some of my Wink of Stella. Hold on. I think, oh, this brush is okay. So I'm just taking the Wink of Stella to paint over the butterfly wings. And that's just gonna add a little bit of glitter. You can go ahead and paint some on there, Ellie.
Okay, because you want it to be super glittery.
Yeah, so the Wink of Stella is nice because it's not like, whoa, that's glittered up, but it's just a nice little, you know, wink of glitter.
It's okay if you get on the background with some right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
I got some right there already.
That's okay.
That
All done, ma'am?
Make sure I can see all the glitter.
Okay.
If you guys can't see here.
Well, I was just gonna try to do this and try to like shake it a little bit. Maybe you guys can see that shimmer. It's really subtle, but it's so pretty.
Well, I need to make sure they can see super good. So there's a little bit some more, and they can be super pretty.
It is super pretty. You're doing a great job.
I always see this looking super pretty already.
It is looking super pretty, ma'am. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's our card. So this is the finished product. Oh, you're gonna add some more? Okay, that's the finished product of our card, and here's our sweet little coordinating envelope. Do you want to put some glitter on that butterfly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of cute. So there it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you join me. I try to do a tutorial every Tuesday at 10 a.m. I'm gonna also start trying to no, I'm not trying. I am going to put in a Friday 10 a.m. tutorial also. So you can catch me live 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m.
And also give a huge thumb up.
Yeah, if you're watching the replay or you're on YouTube, just give us a huge thumbs up. We like those likes. They make us happy. And make sure you hit subscribe if you're watching a YouTube replay. And that way you could always, you know, stay up to date with our videos.
Yeah.
So thanks again for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.